Welcome to This Week with Old Sarge. This week, talking about getting an email from that captain. Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. So, way back when I was Assistant Station Commander of Superstation Sussex, shout out to you guys. Come cruising in there to work for my regular shift. Fire up the old computer while it's booting up. I go get me a cup of coffee. Come back there, everything's booted up, ready to go. Double click on the old email there. That's important. Got me an email from that captain. Well, do tell. Mr. Know-It-All sent me a doggone email. Wonder what this is about. Started looking at that bad boy and looks like a doggone politician wrote it. About 4 times as long as it needs to be. And it doesn't have a doggone specific in it. Just dancing around all kinds of stuff. Woo! Gonna have to use my double secret decoder ring to kind of figure out what this thing's talking about. But one thing it says, send this to your staff, get their input, gather that input, put it all into one nice email, and send her back to me. Okay. I ain't got no staff. Maybe he sent this to me by mistake. Maybe it's supposed to be for those headquarters types that got staffs. Check on the address line there. No, he sent it to all station commanders and all the assistants. I guess he's thinking my staff will be the staff sergeants running the squad and the patrol sergeants. I guess I'm supposed to forward this email to him. Well, let me take a look at it and see what we got here. So I'll start trying to decode this thing. And he's wondering why, under the old 10-hour shift, we had stats that were so high. And under the old 12-hour day shift that we're working now, stats are lower. Plus overtime's up under the 12-hour shift. Yeah. I mean, everybody's got 3 doggone minutes on the road knows why that is. You work less days a year under the 12-hour shift. Working less days a year, less opportunity to see violations, less opportunity to write tickets or warnings for said violations. Pretty doggone simple. Overtime issue, it's overlap. Under the old 10-hour shift, you had 3 squads working every day. Pretty decent overlap between the squads, where 2 squads are working at the same time, so you got time to come back in, do all your paperwork that you have to do by SOP, get it all logged up like it's supposed to be before you head on home. 12-hour shift ain't much overlap. There's a little bit, but ain't much. A lot of times guys working that 12-hour shift get stuck out there for 13, 14 hours. Because they're still having to handle calls. Just because it's shift change doesn't mean the public stops wanting doggone calls for service, as we call it. So that seemed pretty doggone straightforward, making me some little notes there, while I'm reading this thing. Read down a little bit further. Can't believe he put this in writing in an email. I'm sitting there reading what he wrote there, and he's talking about wanting some kind of quota thing. No. Right in the SOP it says, and the SOP is chiseled in stone. You even think about getting close to violating an SOP, OPS will be all over you. They will ram a doggone shovel up your 4-point of contact. They'll spin that bad boy around and just yank your guts right out with it. You don't even go close to that. You don't think about it. You don't even wonder about it. Because if OPS, doggone thought police, finds out about that, woo, you're going to be jammed up so hard you ain't never going to get unjammed. Can't believe he's writing this in there. It's like, man, talk about throwing your career away. That's a good way to do it. So I'm like, well, says to send it to your doggone staff, so type up my notes with it, put it as a little attachment on that thing, put a little note on there for my sergeants. This is my reply to this. You got anything to add? Got any objection or any confusion? Anything you want to, dispute in my thinking? Please let me know. Get back to me by such and such date. Send that email right off to them. A couple days later, got all the responses I'm going to get. All the sergeants are like, yeah, looks like you covered it, Sarge, because you know what? They're doggone busy. They got squads to run. They ain't got time to be messing around with all this political nonsense. And it took me a couple days, but I kind of got thinking, this looks like a little project thing the captains do. This whole email thing that he sent out. If you look in the SOP, scroll way down to the bottom. Way down to the bottom of those SOPs online, you're going to see something in there about captains getting a bonus. Coming up with some bright idea to improve the state police, you'd be eligible for an end-of-year bonus. That's got to be the reason behind this thing. Now, it's a good idea in principle, but people are out there perverting this thing for their own uses, trying to get a little cash money off the hard-pressed taxpayer. Bullshit. You got something real good, put it out and don't expect nothing for it in return. That is holding true to your oath. So, I get all these responses together. Everybody says you're good to go. Repeating myself a little bit, but I send this out to the old captain. About 3 days later, I'm sitting there at my desk doing my business. Phone rings. It's Captain. Boy, he's crying. Woo! Boy, is he crying. Wow. He sounds like a tromped-on toad. He's crying so bad. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this fella? Normally he's all full of himself. Today he sounds like he's, somebody popped his balloon. He's going on and on and on and on and on about just nonsense in general. And he finally says, somebody sent my email down to OPS, and I got jammed up for it. Woo! Yeah, you gotta hate that shovel. Woo! Really? Can't imagine. Violating SOP, you're going to get the shovel. He's going on and on. He's like, I just don't know who would do this kind of thing. And you're going on and on and on about it. And I'm like, well, it said right there in the email to send it out to the staff and all. So I figure it's my fault. It's like, your fault? What do you mean? I said, well, you asked for this doggone email to be distributed. Or you basically committed career suicide. I imagine somebody forwarded a copy of that to OPS. Woo! They came and got you, huh? Imagine that. Well, he doesn't like me. That's all right. He didn't like me before. Hard for him to like me any less now. So he learned an important lesson. You mess with the bull, you're going to get the horn. And OPS was his bull and horn at the time. So Mr. Know-It-All learned something else. The hard way as usual. So shout out section this week to all my B troopers out there doing the JOB, holding true to their oath. Oath they swore to the Constitution, which is never changing. That is the foundation of all law in this great country of ours. Therefore, it cannot change. Change the foundation, everything above it's going to start crumbling and falling. We appreciate what you're doing out there. So thank you. Thank you very much. And you best be keeping track of each other, doggone it. Military, we appreciate what you're doing out there at home and overseas. Keeping us safe. Standing that post, holding that line. A lot of weird stuff going on and some of y'all involved in it. We appreciate what you're doing. So thank you. Thank you very much. So till next week, me and Christmas Pig, bye now.